Welcome, everyone, and thank you for being here as part of our ceremony. If you'll just wait one moment, I will share my screen and we can begin. It is my great pleasure this evening to induct our honorees into the National Latin Honor Society. And as we begin with all things here at St. John's, we'll begin with letting ourselves remember that we are in the holy presence of God.
Let us remember that we are in the holy presence of God.
We are gathered here on the 5th day before the calends of November, according to the Roman calendar, for the initiation of these students into the St. John's College High School chapter of the National Latin Honor Society. Our members come from the ranks of the National Junior Classical League, which extends membership annually to over 50,000 students of Latin in the United States and also abroad. Let your membership in this National Latin Honor Society represent your continued interest in increasing your understanding of your own culture by learning to appreciate that of the past. Induction into this society is a special designation given to students who've demonstrated outstanding academic achievement in Latin class. These impressive young men and women have maintained an A average throughout their Latin careers here at SJC. The 15 of you have been selected for admission to NLHS based on the leadership characteristics you display in the classroom. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce to you all our 2020 inductees.
Nayantara Anders, Olivia Baptiste, Orla Collins, Bobby Cowan, Dominic DeCoco, Aaron Flynn, Quinn Gardiner, Mary Hayes, Pandelis Margaronis, Bailey Middleton, Angelica Fahn, Brian Schneider, Nicholas Telma, Donald Tyler, Timothy Wilson.
Well, before I grant you congratulations, we do have one more matter of business, and that is the recitation of the pledge. So honorees, would you kindly unmute yourselves? We'll have a question and answer session, and these questions essentially for those who do not know Latin well. I'm asking the students if they promise to undertake all that the society is going to require of them, namely tutoring students who are struggling with Latin, and then also to ask them if they promise to increase their knowledge about Roman and Greek history and language. And finally, if they'll attempt to be the good examples that they've already been setting for the younger students in our Latin program. So let us begin. Your membership will make certain demands of you. Thus, in the presence of these witnesses, we ask the following. Demonstratis cupiditatem dicendis linguis antiquis et studendis omnibus de Romanis Graecisque, literis historiae, artibus et vitis. Praebemus vobis nostram societatem. Respondete si vobis placet nostris mandatis. Voltisne suscipere societatem nostram, si voletis dicetis, nos volumus.
Nos volumus.
Nos volumus. Very good. Next question. Polycaminine conare augere scientiam de rebus Romanis Graecisque. Si polycabimini dicetis, nos polycabimor. Polycabimor. Very good. Last question. Conaminine esse optimi discipuli et dare exemplum optimum reliquis discipulis. Si conabimini dicetis, conabimor. Conabimor. Very good. Magna cum laetitia et maxima cum laude, placet mihi vos in nostram societatem salvere. We now declare you members of the National Junior Classical League's Latin Honor Society. Congratulations, everyone. Very excited for you all and very proud of the hard work that you've put into all of our classes, but especially these capstone courses that you're now enrolled in. So thank you very much. We do have a keynote speaker this evening, Miss Marie Gelso, who is one of our English instructors here at St. John's and has been for the past 8 years. She's also done very wonderful work leading the Writing Center. And this evening, we're delighted to hear about her journey from memorizing Latin poetry as a high schooler to developing a love of the Italian language as an adult. So I will let her share her story now.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Ms. Murphy, for inviting me to speak tonight about my journey learning a new language. So, my journey near learning a new language probably isn't an unusual one. I grew up speaking English, and I didn't think anything of it until I got to college. I didn't realize what a professional boon it was to speak another language until I was set to graduate, and any of my friends who spoke second and third languages were landing better jobs than I could imagine. But this isn't going to be about me finding a job. My quest in learning a new language has been a personal one. I took Latin in high school, like so many of you. I went through Latin 5, and I still have particular lines memorized. Vivamus mea lesbiat quamemus. That's Catullus. I can hear it in my head. I could see more layers of meaning in those Latin poems than in anything I had read in English, and that astonished me. It's actually where my fascination with poetry began. So I wanted to explore more ways in which language layers meaning and creates relationships and reflects culture. So I started studying Italian when I got to university. It seemed like a natural place to go from Latin, and I'm Italian American as well, so there was that extra push. But I found it to be harder than I expected. I was shy and nervous and embarrassed every time I tried to say anything. I was frustrated that it felt like my mouth couldn't even really make the sounds it was attempting to form. And it didn't help that my tendency to try and translate everything that I heard or read really just slowed me down. So then, after a few semesters of studying Italian, I decided to take a chance and study abroad in Italy. I remember the first night I was there feeling like I had made a horrible mistake, but what ended up happening changed me. Yes, I made some of my closest friends, and I traveled to so many new cities, but more importantly, I learned how to accept failures and turn them into opportunities that I could learn from. When I spoke Italian over that semester, I made mistake after mistake after mistake. Here's some examples. When I asked a stranger in the supermarket if she was in linea, which means in shape, physically, instead of in coda, which is what I meant, in line. And when I was at a party and asked someone for a tavolino, which is a little table, instead of a tovagliolo, which is a napkin. And yes, I was laughed at when someone dragged a coffee table over to me at that party. But I learned to laugh at myself too. I learned to own those mistakes. I learned to accept myself, American accent and I gained a confidence in myself that I had never had. In that process of finding myself, I also learned a new language and fell in love with a country and a culture and a people. And the food, of course. I loved the Italian language in Italy so much that when my husband and I finished graduate school, we emptied our bank accounts and moved to Rome kind of on a whim. We both ended up finding jobs that we loved. We found new best friends. We went to a ton of soccer games. We spent evenings walking through the streets of Rome with the Trevi Fountain on one side and the ruins of the Forum on the other. We got engaged on a bridge in Venice in the middle of the night just after Christmas. We skied in the Dolomites. We found the tiny town my husband's family is from and shared a meal with his distant cousin, whom we found just by talking to a couple of people on their way to Sunday Mass. We joined a book group, yes, in Italian, and went on weekend trips with them to countryside towns where we stayed in palazzi that felt like castles to us. We moved back to the States after those years in Rome to start our family, but we find a way to Italy most summers. Not this one, but most of them. We gave our son a name that works in a lot of languages. He can be Bruno, but he can also be Bruno if he wants, because we hope that he'll have the opportunity to find the world and himself like we did. I hope that each of you has that chance as well. Our second baby, by the way, we named Flavia, a very Roman name and maybe one that you have even seen in your Latin books. The Italian language started in the classroom for me, but it ended up leading me to so much more. It ended up leading me to myself. And what a surprise that was. So, as the Nobel Prize winning and Genovese poet Eugenio Montale once wrote, "Ogni attimo vi porta nuove fronde e viene a impetuoso onde la vita a questo estremo angolo d'orto." Every moment brings new leaves to you, and life arrives on headlong waves in this far garden corner. Thank you again for inviting me to talk, and congratulations to all of you.
Well, great. Thank you to Ms. Gelso for sharing her words of wisdom with us and her congratulatory address. We have yet another congratulatory address from our principal, Mr. Themistos. He wanted to offer congratulations to our inductees, and he's tuning in to our ceremony live from the Roman Forum, as you can see the basilica behind him, and I will let him congratulate you as well.
Greetings, Latin scholars. I am coming to you from the Basilica of Maxentius and Constantine. I decided in honor of your tremendous scholarship to take this trip to the Roman Forum and to this wonderful Roman ruin. I am so thankful for all the work that you have put in to get yourself to this point. Being inducted into the Latin Honor Society is such an achievement. I'm so appreciative of Ms. Murphy for putting this event together and for everything that she has done and does for the Latin program and for everything at SJC. And I'm sure that you are going to be imparted words of tremendous wisdom from Ms. Gelso. So thank you to her for taking part in this event. Your achievement in Latin should not be underscored, particularly in this time. The perseverance that you have shown during the last several months, going back into last school year and moving into this school year, your achievement in Latin and in all your studies is commendable for certain. Scholarship perseveres. Scholarship pervades through hardship, through all times. So your commitment to your studies is certainly noteworthy. I also feel it's important to note that your particular commitment to Latin is not just one that is focused in the intellect, but also your development of knowledge and understanding of art and culture and history really makes your study of Latin so much more valuable, and also your success in this subject will certainly take you far in terms of other academic pursuits as well as other artistic and cultural appreciation. And lastly, just to note the rigor and discipline that exists within this this study of this subject. To get to this point, you have certainly set yourself to a disciplined schedule. I know that you are worked very hard in this subject and the standard is high. You have reached and surpassed that standard, and I'm so thankful for that, to everything that you and your families have done to get you to this point. So once again, congratulations and enjoy the rest of the ceremony.
And finally, we have a final set of special remarks. Our chair of the Department of Modern and Classical Languages is here with us this evening, Senora Najas, and she has a few closing remarks to share with our honorees.
Thank you, Rin. First of all, Mr. Themistos is not there. So, I didn't have the background, I have to say it. But congratulations to all inductees into this prestigious honor society. Latin is the fundamental of Western civilization and the basis of Roman languages. Mrs. Murphy has developed, blossomed, and helped us all into the appreciation of the classical world and commitment in classical studies. You're the link between classic and modern languages. And Ms. Murphy, to you, please correct me. At ad sapientem in et luquem, for wisdom will shine. Thank you for inviting me.
That was beautiful. Thank you very much. And I'm sure on behalf of all of our students, I say thank you to you for being here and for sharing a Latin quote with us. Thank you. We do have one final closing prayer. And so again, honorees, I ask that you unmute yourselves so that we can all pray together the Pater Noster. Let us begin. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Memoremus nos esse apud Deum. Pater Noster, qui es in caelis, sanctificator nomen tuum, adveniat regnum tuum, fiat voluntas tua, sicut in caelo et in terra. Panem nostrum quotidianum da nobis hodie, dimite nobis debita nostra, sicut et nos dimittimus debitoribus nostris, et ne nos inducas in tentationem, sed libera nos a malo. Amen. Ioannes Baptista de la Salle. Vive Jesus in cordibus nostris. Semper. Wonderful. Thank you all so much. This evening has been different than we expected that it would really look, but thank you all for your flexibility and also for joining us this evening. I'm so very proud of all of your work, and I'm very glad that we got to be here tonight to celebrate you. And I hope you'll let the celebration continue in your own homes and have some special treats for our honorees. And then one final note, I would love if after we conclude here this evening, if I could have all of my Latin scholars join me for a Brady Bunch style Zoom photo that we can hopefully get into the yearbook. But thank you all again for being a part of this evening and for celebrating our very accomplished scholars. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Murphy.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you all.
You're the best, Miss Murphy.
Oh, thank you, Ms.
Thank you all.